A resounding round of applause to our state sole administrator, the River State sole administrator, for finally gracing us with his presence. Can you imagine that after several days, or should we say several weeks, of the committee inviting him without him showing up? Yesterday, mind you, there was a mild drama at the National Assembly where some senators, staged a walkout because the sole administrator refused to show up. The committee, don't forget, there was a committee that was constituted, to oversee the affairs of the River State sole administrator, to monitor and make sure that he's actually doing the right thing and following the constitution. But he refused to show up for several weeks. And now finally today, he finally showed up, giving the excuse that, in the 2 weeks that he's been invited, there's a public holiday and so on and so forth. There are different activities that had to be attended to. And I'm like, these people, senators and House of Representative members, you brought this upon yourself, didn't you? You did, because when the president wanted an approval for the state of emergency, you speedily gave it to him without actually, discussing in-depthly, without actually sitting down to consider the pros and cons of the situation. And now you're complaining that he did not show up when you invited him. What were you expecting? But anyway, guys, now he said to them as well that, look, the situation in Rivers State might be very calm, but you guys, it is still as tense as ever. We also need to put things into order. A lot of work needs to be done, which means that I need more time. I've been saying this countless times that it is going to take the grace of God for the state of emergency state of emergency not to be extended beyond 6 months. You guys, we also became aware of news reports that you said that Fubara actually met up with Tinubu in London, and there are considerations or discussions that it might defect, and the 6 months might not even be up to 6 months. We don't know how true that is, but that is a report reaching us currently. But anyway, guys, we are here for it, and we are going to be watching them, and I would also be bringing you details of the news as well. And as always, before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here or you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know you're enjoying the news, so why not just subscribe already? Just click on the subscribe button down below. Also, give this video a massive thumbs up. That way we're encouraged to put out more reliable and authentic news. And also, YouTube will be able to recommend this video to other YouTube viewers all around the world. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comment section below as well. The sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibas, retired, has said that although the state is relatively calm, it remains fragile. He indicates the peace being experienced is still delicate and requires careful handling in the face of a continuing political transition. Speaking during a meeting with the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on Rivers State Oversight on Friday, Ibas acknowledged the critical role the committee plays in preserving the democratic and constitutional integrity, and assured members of his willingness to fully cooperate in their ongoing assignments. He expressed regrets over his inability to attend earlier engagements with the committee. Today is exactly 10 days after the first invitation, and in between, we've had 4 days that were off calendar as public holidays, plus weekends inclusive, he said. He clarified that his absence was not intended as a slight on the committee, but due to the pressing and urgent demand of stabilizing governance in a deeply troubled environment. The absence, of course, was not out of disregard, but rather due to weighty and urgent demands of stabilizing governance in a state under a declared emergency. Ibas explained. He reiterated his regard for the committee's efforts to ensure accountability and effective oversight during the ongoing transition in the state. I have always held the National Assembly in the highest regard. I recognize the importance of your oversight responsibilities and your interest in the progress being made in Rivers State, he stated. However, despite the return of a degree of order, Ibas emphasized that the state remains in a fragile condition, pointing to the need for careful and measured interventions. Rivers State is presently relatively calm, but still fragile, he warned. The sole administrator appealed to the committee for more time to properly gather and prepare a comprehensive report on the state's affairs. I only request your understanding and the indulgence of this committee to grant me additional time to adequately prepare and present a comprehensive and constructive briefing. He said, he stressed that the complexities and sensitivities surrounding the transitional period in Rivers made it necessary to approach every detail with caution and thoroughness. Given the complexities and sensitivities surrounding the current transitional period in Rivers State, it is important that any engagement with this committee is done with the depth, accuracy, and clarity it rightfully deserves, he explained. Ibas assured the committee of his full cooperation moving forward and promised to ensure that all relevant information would be made available in due course to aid the committee's work. I remain fully committed to cooperating with the committee and to ensuring that all relevant information is made available in due course to support your important work, he said. He concluded his remarks by thanking the chairman and members of the committee for their patience and dedication to national service, while also appreciating members of the press for their ongoing role in supporting the federal government's efforts in Rivers State. The chairman of the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on Rivers State Oversight, Professor Julius Bere, underscored the constitutional role of the National Assembly in legitimizing and overseeing the state of emergency declared in Rivers State. He stressed that the federal legislature remains central to the state's transitional process. Bere reaffirmed the committee's constitutional mandate and expressed satisfaction that the administrator had finally honored the invitation after earlier delays. He emphasized that the committee's mandate was rooted in constitutional authority and that some of its terms had already been communicated to the administrator in an earlier letter. Citing relevant sections of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Bere reminded the administrator that the power to declare a state of emergency under Section 305 rests with the President, but that the National Assembly must approve it before it becomes effective. For that state of emergency, the Gazette must be sent to the National Assembly for approval. It's only that approval that gives life to the state of emergency. I repeat that so that you know how critical the National Assembly is to that process, he said. He further referenced Section 11, subsection 4 of the Constitution, which empowers the National Assembly to take over the legislative functions of a state assembly when it is unable to function. That also means that all functions of a state of assembly, including budget approval, must come to the National Assembly, and by implication, this very committee, he explained. Bere clarified the committee's efforts to engage with the administrator from the onset of a crisis. He noted that despite multiple attempts, including written correspondences, there were delays in securing the administrator's appearance. The chairman encouraged the administrator to feel at ease, stressing that the committee members had been carefully selected to ensure broad representation across geopolitical zones and legislative experience. After the meeting, Bere said a new date for a meeting would be announced. He said a statement on the updates on the situation will be released by the House spokesman. You all, let's have your total opinions in the comment section. What do you all think of this? Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.